illness. And they have Devin Quigley and Caden Samuels together in the starting lineup, with Zam Jones out due to the ankle injury. So the matchup against Mia Moore on the perimeter will be one to watch, and Tilda Trygger inside for NC State, a decided height advantage tonight. And there is Quigley, first shot up and in.
Well, that has got to build confidence for NC State, with Devin Quigley, the sophomore, being able to knock down an early jumper.
Clemson starting five, tremendous shooters, led by that woman right there. Russ Augustineda and Hannah Cohn both can light it up. Cohn had an outstanding game last year against NC State, scored 6 triples.
Both these teams are so well prepared, very well coached, and they will play scouting report defense. They know personnel so well because they spend a lot of time on it in preparation.
Moore. And that's going to be a travel on the turnover. Raven Thompson trying to fill a lane.
Raven Thompson coming off one of her best games, 24 points in the win over Miami, which was a quad one win for Clemson.
As it stands right now, they're 1-5. Of course, the quads, something that the selection committee looks closely at. Of course, still real early in the game, but as Khamil Pierre scores inside, if you follow Charlie Cream's bracketology, Clemson is one of the first teams out. So they need some Q1 wins on the resume moving forward.
NC State's going to give Mia Moore that shot until she proves she can make it consistently. And Khamil Pierre has a real advantage in this matchup against Raven Thompson, and she has gone at it back-to-back. And NC State prepped a lot of ISO stuff in shoot-around for Khamil.
Khamil is one of 4 Power 4 players that averages 15 points and 10-plus rebounds per game.
This is a great matchup, too. Q Samuels with her length on the perimeter, trying to defend the three-point line. And you have to know where she is.
Russ got lost in the corner, and she drills it.
Augustinete is too good at shooting it. She is a 44% three-point shooter. She's made 45 on the season, making that 46, which is 12th in the nation.
That was high on the scouting report for Wes Moore. Got to find the shooters, especially in transition, as Moore will take it the distance and hang it up and in.
See, I think that's the biggest challenge for NC State, is more in the open floor. And without Zam Jones, that means that Zoe Brooks is going to have some responsibility in trying to slow her down. But really, everybody has a responsibility in trying to slow her down. You got to shadow her and shade her up the floor.
Trygger, double team comes from the guard. They'll go back to Tilda, and she'll fade and hit along the baseline.
Post play getting early touches for NC State. They've scored all of the Wolfpack's baskets, except for Quigley's first basket, which was a 2.
Moore with Brooks on her defensively. Thompson off the bounce, spins back into the lane, and both sides shooting it well early.
Really good footwork inside by Raven Thompson. She had 6 made threes going into the Miami game, and then she made 4 in the Miami game.
She's a member of their 1,000-point club. And how about the big girl from Sweden stepping away and hitting the 3?
NC State 5 for 7 from the floor to start this one. Clemson 4 for 5. I'm good with that. I like offense, so I'm fine with them making shots.
Ends up back with Perriman, and she's off the mark. Wes Moore in his 37th season as a head coach, the last 13 at NC State. Only Gino Auriemma at UConn has more career wins amongst the active coaches. And of course for Wes, 5 ACC championships in the last 6 years. That's the best in the conference.
Wes is detailed. He is an excellent teacher. He communicates what he wants very well with his team, and he's got a great staff.
Samuel spins in the lane. Only white jerseys around that rebound. Here's Moore. with the crossover, and another one back to the right side and a burst to the rim.
She's constantly trying to get to her right hand. If you can get her on the left side of the floor, you want to keep her over there. That is challenging. I watched Jeff Wall's defense try to keep her on the left side of the floor and try to make her go left. And if they can't do it, that tells you how hard it is to keep her over there.
Here's Brooks. Quigley off the dribble, 5 on the shot clock. Missed a chance to drop that off to Trygger, and here comes Clemson. Russ over the top of Samuels. Cadence made it tough for her.
It's an automatic kick out to the three-point line on an offensive rebound for Clemson.
Around and out for Demara Hines.
Good hustle by Pierre.
Here's the leading rebounder in the ACC. Pierre with the kick out. Brooks, open look.
Zoe Brooks with her 5th triple of the season.
Just 13% on the year, Debbie.
But, you know, in that situation right there with the trail and the push first and creating space by pushing the ball and advancing it up the floor, really nice job. If Zoe Brooks adds that consistently to her game, because this is her game right here. This is what she does well. Stop and go, change of pace, change of direction.
Trygger fouled on the rebound. We've got ourselves a 3-point game.
Mia Moore gets back to that right hand. Forget about it.
Just one NCAA tournament trip in 23 years, so he is looking to get this program back to, well, the successful days of Jim Davis when he was here.
Yeah.
Coach is still hanging around. We may see him a little bit later.
You know, considering they only won 14 games last year as Trygger scores on the out-of-bounds play, they've already got 11 wins. They don't have any bad losses, and they have played a challenging schedule. I think they are trending in the right direction for sure. The way they shoot the three, you get with the right matchup, you get in the tournament, you never know what could happen.
School record triples last year. They had 5 games that were winnable in the league that got away from them. Otherwise, they're a 500 club a year ago. Moore rejected by Trygger. Building a wall around that basket for Wes Moore.
The luxury of 6'6" at the rim.
Brooks rejects baseline and one. Foul on Hannah Cohn.
Zoe Brooks, Beth, is so shifty. She has a matchup that she likes, so she refuses the ball screen. Watch how quickly she takes advantage of getting her hips and shoulders past the defender and then drawing a foul. She's so strong. She's got great hip mobility and great upper body strength. Finishing, she can change her shot in the air also.
73% free throw shooter. She completes the three-pointer, and it's an 8-point lead for NC State. A 7-0 run. And now defensively, it's Kaishi Lunin on Moore. She's in off the bench, and they force a turnover. So Clemson's scoring drought's going to be pushing about 3 minutes here with 3 minutes to go in this first quarter.
With Kaishi Lunin on the floor, Beth, she can run some point and get Zoe Brooks off the ball a little bit, give Wes Moore some flexibility, and not wear Zoe out with all the ball handling responsibilities.
She should get more minutes and a bigger opportunity tonight with Zam Jones out with the ankle injury. After NC State's successful road trip out west with wins over Cal and Stanford. Pierre, that one won't drop. Excuse me, at home against Cal and Stanford.
NC State, multiple opportunities right there. Ball never hit the rim. That's why Quigley had to fire it up.
Rachael Rose now running the point, the senior from Scranton, and an offensive foul on a moving screen.
Zoe Brooks digging it up right here. You do not want to get screened, and she's doing a good job of trying to avoid the screen. That's a foul on Hines. And Zoe Brooks would be a player tonight that I think Wes Moore does not want to get in foul trouble.
Lunin gives it up for Quigley. Long on the shot. Trygger misses the bunny. She'll try again. Nope, knocked loose.
Look how strong Hines is. Walls up Trygger and then sprints to the rim.
Rose hits the three.
Because Hines sprints, she occupies defense and allows Rose to spot up. That's why you run the floor hard every time, because you open up space on the top of the floor.
Brooks, pulled that back, almost got more going the other way, and now Rose will push. The transition three has been really good for Clemson. They shoot it about 10 percentage points better on the run than in their sets.
Off the penetration, Clemson is always going to fill behind looking for threes.
5 on the shot clock, and now Rose goes to work on Pierre, dumps it off for Hines. I think Pierre bothered the shot, and now Trygger comes out with it.
Good thing the players played through that shot clock buzzer.
Moore pushes, scores, and gets fouled.
I'm telling you, she is so underrated. Not undervalued by Clemson. But across the league, I think coaches are starting to figure out, if they haven't already, there is a burst of speed in number 12 in white for Clemson. So quick off the bounce.
Lunan got stuck behind the screener there, and now a chance at a three-point play from Mia. Came into the game 13 points away from 1,000 for her career, and she's got 7 already in this quarter. In her first year, Sean Poppy was telling us, playing the point. Been an off guard prior. Pierre, nice catch.
Oh my goodness, look at the athleticism. I mean, Pierre can go up and get it. She's got great hands. We know what an incredible rebounder she is. Best in the ACC, 4th best nationally rebounding.
She and Trygger already 13 points and 9 rebounds combined here in this first quarter. About a 2-second difference here, shot and game clocks. Rose, she'll get another open look. And Trygger has another rebound, her 7th already. And Quigley cannot get a buzzer beater off, but it's NC State by 4 through 1.
Watch Khamil Pierre fly. She goes up with some hang time and finishes.
What do you enjoy about these matchups in the ACC now that we're into the conference grind, really kicking into action?
Well, the thing I miss about being in retirement is miss seeing my friends. Wes Moore and I have been friends for 100 years. Of course, Coach Poppy, I just think he's outstanding, doing a great job here. So I miss seeing our coaches and the interaction with people like y'all.
Yeah. Both those coaches took the train in from Chattanooga. Did you miss that train, Jim?
I did. I missed a lot of trains.
You're the standard here at Clemson. You're the guy that everybody's trying to build their program around, representing what you have built Clemson basketball to be and what you've meant for it to be. How would you assess what Poppy's doing? He's got a great recruiting class coming in. He's got a competitive team this year.
Well, even though he didn't win as many games last year as he wanted to, they left him with absolutely 0. He had 4 scholarship players before the season started, and 2 of those left before the season started. So he basically had to build an entire roster and became competitive.
2 guys from UT Chattanooga. That's pretty cool, right? Wes is calling out his set, and Poppy's calling out the same setup for his defense. That's how well prepared they are.
Guys, 2 of the better coaches in this league, for sure, in my opinion.
Pierre a little long off the back iron as Rose pushes the other way. It's also a big year for Clemson basketball because Barbara Kennedy's a Hall of Famer. Long overdue, one of the greatest to ever play in the ACC.
Still the all-time leading scorer in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and I think is still 400 or 500 points ahead of the person in second place. And that was without the three-point line. And she is the leading all-time rebounder in the ACC with four-year players. Now, I think a young lady from Virginia Tech who played 5 years.
Well, Liz Kitley is up there, and Liz Usby from North Carolina, I think.
But there's the Hall of Fame numbers for Barbara Kennedy Dixon.
It's going to be quite a celebration. I mean, you didn't coach Barbara, but you knew her well from her relationship here at Clemson. What is it going to mean to Clemson and to you for her to be recognized with this honor?
Well, I only wish she were here to experience it herself. Of course, her husband, Marvin, her two children, Jalen and Jasmine, will be there, and nobody will be more excited than they are, except maybe for me, because it's been... I actually brought Barbara back to Clemson when I was hired in April Fool's Day of 1987. I kept rounding the corner going into the office, and there was Barbara's picture with a smile from ear to ear, and I said, she's got to be on our staff. And I started asking around, and they told me who she was. And
it's over 3 decades here, right, Jim? In one capacity or another for Barbara?
Right. Right, she was. And, you know, even when she left our coaching staff, she wanted to start her family and get off the road. So, and of course, she battled cancer.
Right.
I hired her in June.
Rose off the bounce.
And she was immediately diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease. And so she had to come off the road to start taking chemo or radiation 1. I think it was chemo, but anyway.
Good hustle plays here by Clemson, and they have taken ownership of the early minutes of this second quarter.
Well, Raven Thompson was outstanding against Miami.
Yeah.
Well, she's been pretty good here early on. I mean, Khamil Pierre has taken advantage of her a little bit with that size.
Two-man game, back to Perriman.
That's why you got to keep the ball in front against Clemson, because it sets up, they get 2 feet in the paint, it sets up all their three-point shooting.
Exactly, and I like that inside-out pass. It's a much easier three-point field goal attempt. They can make that thing just like that one right there.
Kaishi Lunan from downtown, the freshman out of Arizona. Of course, another one of your old friends is back in town with Nikki Blassingame.
Nikki West over there on Wes Moore's staff.
I love Nikki. Just saw her dad up here, Mac, earlier on.
Big Mac and Shirley, we hear, are always around.
They are. And this is the only time they'll wear black and red, I can assure you.
Pierre with the steal and the lay-in. She took a shot to the mouth, it looks like. May have a bloody lip. But Nikki was here in the heyday of winning ACC championships for you guys.
She was on 2 ACC championships. I just watched that ACC semifinal game this afternoon against Virginia when Virginia was ranked 6th in the country and the #1 seed in the ACC tournament in '96, and we beat them in the semifinals. And Nikki played a key role in that as a freshman.
Did you bring out the reel-to-reel tape for that one, Jim?
Black and white? No, that wasn't black and white back then. 96, you're celebrating the 30th anniversary of that first ACC championship for Clemson.
Amy Guerin, Etoro Umo, Stephanie Ridgeway.
Tasha Anderson, Nikki Blassingame,
Cottrell
Umo,
Amy Guerin.
Tasha Anderson and Amy Guerin were the 4 freshmen on that team, and all of them contributed as freshmen in that championship run. Of course, Laura Cottrell from Hayesville, North Carolina, was the MVP in that tournament.
Of course, Beth and I were around calling the games that...
No, y'all weren't. Y'all were still in diapers.
diapers. Another takeaway here for Clemson. Their pull-up baseline is good, and the Tigers, we get Jim Davis on the headset, and they take the lead. A 12-7 advantage for the Tigers here in this second quarter. Pierre will try for 3, and she'll knock it down. Terrific first half for Khamil. She's into double digits.
That's her first 3 of the season.
Really?
I mean, Zoe Brooks is making 3s. Khamil Pierre's making 3s. This shooter's gym in here.
They got 4 on the night.
Really good job by Samuel stuffing that flare screen. Augusta Nate is such a dangerous three-point shooter.
Rose gets her puppy set. And there's Maddie Cox with a rebound.
tell you, I like Johnson Matthews. Played for Doug Bruno at DePaul, transferred here, and she's really good mid-range.
Lunan.
That's a shot when in doubt, shoot it.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you ought to move it. There she is.
Open look.
Right
Got
at
it.
you. Way to go, Coach Davis.
Yes. Senior from Cleveland. She's got a couple of 20-point games already on the resume.
Yeah, very good off the bounce, and I think she's a very good, well, that's a bonehead foul, but she's a very good defender in my opinion.
More to come from Little John in a one-point ball game here in the
Okay,
They won at Chattanooga.
Listen, Nikki, if you don't know her scouting report, I can just remember what a incredible player she was on the wing for Jim. He could invert her inside. She could play on the perimeter. And she could play with size when there weren't a lot of women playing with size facing up to the basket.
Yep. Coach Carrie Green worked with our post players, did a great job teaching our post players back to the basket moves. And Nikki was a great student of the game. She listened to everything Coach Green said. She was just a pure joy to coach. We always said we recruit quality people who are quality players. And Nikki Blassingame exemplified that philosophy.
Grew up 10 miles down the road from here.
Yep. Is she another one of those players that Debbie defended and helped score 1,000 points?
No. I'm much older than Nikki. She's young over there. Yeah, if there are many banners in the arenas across the ACC that I did help put in there.
Hey, both clubs, Debbie, are shooting better than 50% this quarter.
You know, I'm good with that. But look at Raven Thompson. The second time we've seen her in the paint, undersized, use her footwork to be effective.
Yeah, she gets, there are players that get an awful lot of mileage out of their athletic abilities, and she is certainly one of those. Not to say that she's not athletic, but she's undersized, as you said, and she's just a very smart player.
Well, Beth's best athleticism is in the airports now,
Yes.
so, I mean, I've witnessed it firsthand.
Always been.
Hustling
Knocked
from
out
one
back.
spot to the next.
What's a key for an undersized, if you're going to succeed inside undersized, what do you have to do well?
Well, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the
Oh,
fight.
I
in the
love
dog.
that quote.
Number one. Number two, footwork is so very important, and shot fakes. That's the forgotten fundamental, is faking.
I heard Brad Brownell telling his team yesterday, the head coach here at Clemson on the men's side, that shot faking can slow the game down.
Right.
I thought it was a really interesting concept. His team did it really well last night in a win here against SMU.
And we talked earlier about Laura Cottrell being the most valuable player in that ACC championship game in '96. So many times she would fake, be standing beyond the three-point arc, and she could knock down the three-pointers too, but she would make that shot fake, get them just up on their toes, standing up straight, and then she would be able to go by them and lay it in. So,
How about on the other side for Tilda Trygger? Now, if you're 6'6", sometimes you tend to be on the slender side, but Wes Moore says her strength and her ability to get stronger and play more physically this year has been a huge breakthrough for her.
and you can't teach big.
You know, most women her size fall on the floor, can't stay on balance, but you know, again, her hip mobility and her lower body strength is a big key for her, being able to be strong. Now, Demira Hines is a beast inside. I mean, she's an exception to the rule.
Right.
Nobody has hamstrings in the women's
Legs,
game like
yeah.
Demira Hines.
Yep.
She is such a great athlete, so strong.
Kick out, Quigley, three. Look at Trygger, track that down. Gets them another possession. Pierre was at a big second quarter. We'll give it back up.
And Trygger makes bigs come out of the paint and defend her outside the three-point line. And she's wide open right here.
Thought about it. Pierre's calling for it. Fades on 1 foot.
Pretty good defense by Raven Thompson.
Look at Moore. Oh,
Wow.
my goodness, she's
Looking
so
to
fast.
extend the lead with the left hand, and she does.
You got to pick her up much earlier. You can't wait till she's already downhill attacking the paint. It's too late.
By the way, I've never understood that downhill. This floor is level. I don't.
Oh, it gets tilted once in a while, Jim. It tilts.
A little football talk, Jim. You used to coach football, right?
A long time ago.
4-point lead for the Tigers. How about this little post up?
Look at this. This is a perfect duck in. Great timing. Excellent seal.
And a perfect pass. Yep. Great wraparound pass there by Mia Moore.
Put a little English on it. Mia now will check out with a minute to go in the half. She's got 2 fouls. She and Johnson Matthews have 2 apiece. And Hannah Cohn will replace her as Brooks hits on the free throw.
I'll tell you, Wes, this is the first time in a long time he has been lacking in depth.
Yeah.
He has to. Those kids have to play a lot of minutes.
You know, they're built to do that based on all their early season work. And then, you know, you don't become the second active wins coach without knowing how to get better. And his teams are not even close to being where they're going to be in March.
And the first time in state history, right? Without a senior on the roster. Brooks has it.
You got a 2-for-1 right here if you go quickly.
And lost out of bounds.
Called a foul there, I guess, but didn't. Can we talk about referees?
You go ahead.
No,
sure,
talk
go
about
ahead.
referees.
All you want.
No, that's part of the retirement
I used to
package.
get penalized for talking about referees.
Only nice things. And Jim gets quiet.
Oh, nice drive.
Nice drive from Russ.
Russ has changed her body. She's fit. She's competitive.
And she's happy.
And she wants to win.
She's happy.
The transfer from Georgia Tech after a couple of seasons out of Lithuania.
See, this is where Zoe doesn't need a screen, especially in the Rose matchup, but NC State brings one to her anyway.
And she runs into a double team, forces up the tough shot, and knocks it down. And a shake of the head to the front row. She wanted a foul as well, doesn't get that whistle. But the 2-point heave is good in a 2-point game at the half.
I love the competitive fire of Zoe Brooks. Look at that, just kind of half hooks it up there to the rim and then it says, they can't guard me. They cannot guard me.
And they didn't.
Brooks and Pierre.
Nobody could guard you on that shot.
Into double figures. Gustanete is the leading scorer for Clemson. And what a pleasure to be sitting courtside with the Hall of Famer Jim Davis.
You're the best,
Thanks
coach.
for spending time with us, Jim. And, of course, we'll see you again, good Lord willing. And
against the bubble, which is a new metric that the league, or the NCAA will use this year. And right now, Sean Poppy's team is a net 45 against the bubble.
The WOB. Get used to hearing that. And despite their struggles in non-conference play this year, you're still looking at, what, 7, 8, maybe 9 teams getting into the tournament.
I mean, there's 18 teams in the league. I'd be surprised if there was anything less than 50% of the teams.
And what matters most is how you finish, as Samuels finishes on her drive down the lane. 8 ACC schools have been to the Final Four in the last 10 years, including 5 different programs, one of them being NC State a couple years ago when both the men and women were at the Final Four.
Look how quickly Samuels gets out on Gustanete. Make her dribble into her shot.
Got to try and take something away. They end up with a good look, but Perriman is off the mark.
I think Samuels is going to have a big second half here. I just got a feeling. I listened to her in the postgame after they won against Cal, and she talked about returning to her old self, not just being a great defender, but knocking down shots. Wes Moore referenced it as well with us today at Shoot Around. He needs her to be a more effective scorer. She's a better shooter than her numbers have shown.
Nice drive for Brooks and the drop off to Trygger. They start out 4-0 here in this third quarter.
Poppy didn't like that shot selection.
NC State back on top. Pierre. Out to Trygger.
You don't see many 6'6" that can attack a closeout, put it on the deck, and do this right here. That's just smart basketball.
6-0 run to start the second half for NC State coming out of the locker room.
I mean, she catches on the wing. Wes Moore can move her around. You manipulate the 5 for the other team when you do that, and it helps open up the lane and create space.
All 3 baskets coming in the paint for NC State. Gustanete tries for 3, no. Pierre corrals the rebound, 13 points and now 6 boards for her. She and Trygger both flirting with double-doubles here tonight.
And Pierre doesn't have any fouls, which means she can be a little more aggressive in some of the decisions she makes on the defensive end.
Brooks altered the shot. Trygger is there to clean it up. It is a 6-0 Tilda run right now. Working around the rim, and a push from NC State.
And plays the game unselfishly. She's a willing passer. Look at that stat line already with a double-double, her second of the season.
5th of her career. She scored the last 6 points in an 8-0 NC State run here in the 3rd. Hines, nope. 7th rebound for Pierre.
That's a part of Pierre's game that I really have enjoyed watching emerge for NC State. Her ability off the glass to push and to create opportunities up the floor.
They try to force it into her. It's turned over. Now, Pierre was a 20-point-per-game scorer last year at Vanderbilt, and then made the move in the portal to come to NC State.
Playing alongside Michaela Blakes, who is trending to be
All-American.
I think so, for Vandy. They've never had a guard that was an All-American, first-team All-American. She's going to be the first one.
Hines, nice wraparound. Of course, they in Kentucky had huge wins over LSU this week. Kentucky is on the verge of falling big time tonight.
Well, they had a major injury to Tiona Key.
They are a really good three-point shooting team. Shoot them by volume, but quiet so far tonight. 3 of 13. Russ from inside the line, no.
Automatic kick out to the 3. A good pass by Cone.
Hines collects herself and scores. Couple of layups for her.
She is so strong, and when she plays compact and tight, catches deep, she's tough.
And that's going to be a reach-in foul on Raven.
I also think NC State's doing a much better job feeding the post. Tilda did turn it over on that possession to Pierre, but overall, they have really done a nice job of feeding the ball inside.
Tremendous success over the last 6 years. The conference wins, most in the league. Couple of regular season, couple of tournament titles in the ACC. Westmore 3 times the coach of the year. Last year, co-champs in the regular season. And then Duke went on to win the ACC tournament as Pierre rattles one in. 15 and 7 rebounds now for Khamil. Deep 3 from Moore. Hines going to be called for the push-off as Trygger hit the deck.
You know, Hines gets one of those a game, and she always gets a screening foul because she's so aggressive. You know, watch right here. She's going to the glass. Yeah, they get their arms hooked, and there's a push-off there. I still think she has really improved her game and has worked out perfectly inside the system for Clemson.
She's been in double digits 4 of her last 5 games, and there's a foul on the drive, and this may be on Hines as well. So now she's got 3.
Zoe Brooks put so much pressure on your defense off the bounce. I think NC State, both teams look really comfortable with what they're doing. I don't think either one has shown some sort of defensive edge or sense of urgency. It's just the game is just flowing right now. At some point, because Clemson trails by 7, and not yet, we'll see some change. Sean Poppy is going to have to do something to kind of jumpstart his team.
Zoe Brooks now with 14. She's 5 of 5 at the line.
And they go to their chin action. Princeton sets to get moving, and it results in a wide open triple.
Johnson Matthews has a couple tonight. That erases NC State's largest lead. One and done on that trip. Rachael Rose will push the Wofford transfer, who's got over 100 starts in her career and over 1,000 points. She was a spark off the bench for them in the first half, and now Hines looking to go to work. And rattles that one in. She's got 6 already in the quarter.
Back to back. That's what I'm talking about. That is a deep catch, and she works hard to get deep position.
Back to a one-possession game, under 5 to go here in the third. Trygger, 3, no. And we're going to get Pierre for a push. We'll take the timeout. 51-48 State. Only host in the ACC. You got to be a top 4 seed to do that.
That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because the league is so competitive. The numbers, there's 12 teams above 64 in the net. Last I checked, the only team or league that had more was the Big Ten at 13. The SEC was the same as the ACC. So there's a lot of Power 5, Power 4 opportunities in those leagues to get quad 1 wins.
Yeah. Big advantage for the Big Ten and the SEC in terms of the big-time wins in the non-conference. So the ACC will try and pick some of those up in league play. Pad those resumes. Trygger spins inside, can't hit it. Clemson, Rose on the drive and puts it over the top of 6'6".
Two-time SoCon Player of the Year at Wofford. Really good competitor. Rachael Rose played for Jimmy Garrity.
9 points and 6 rebounds at 5'7" for the senior out of Scranton.
He's just smart. Like, you talk about watching film, which Poppy watches a lot of film with his players. It's just a great take by Rachael Rose to get into the heart of the NC State defense and finish high off the glass.
Poppy's trying something new the last couple of games. In their shoot-arounds, they bring half the team out and work on things on the floor, and the other half watches film. So it's smaller groups watching film, and he feels like that really helps their focus, get a little more repetition in their mindset. What was the phrase he used? Less on their bodies, more on their minds. And he feels like there's a greater attention to detail.
I think it's a great teaching tool. I think film doesn't lie. So you can teach the concepts that you want your players to play in, and when you have smaller groups, anybody knows as an educator, smaller group teaching is always better than mass teaching.
NC State with the bucket. Back to a 3-point advantage, under 3 to go here in the third. Winner gets a quad 1 on the resume. NC State coming in undefeated in the league at 4-0. Trying to keep pace with Duke and Louisville, who have already won tonight. Rose's runner, and how about the game tonight for Rachael off the bench?
Giving Mia Morse a much-needed rest on the bench, and Rose not just managing the game, but scoring.
16 the other day in a loss to Virginia, and now she's in double digits again tonight, playing above average.
Clemson changing the tempo right here, really looking to push, being aggressive, getting in the paint.
Here's Rose. NC State has kept Augustinade quiet so far in this second half.
Well, it's locked down by Samuels.
Yes. Yep. Brooks into the lane.
That's
Tough shot. And here comes Clemson again. A chance for the lead. The runner from Rose won't go.
NC State's transition defense has been tested all night.
Trygger with the post up. Backing in on Perryman and using the glass.
Rachael Rose also tagging on that box out. You don't really box out anymore. You just tag, you hit him, and then you go. She just knocked Samuels to the ground. She's playing a good little segment right here. I love the toughness.
Thompson, Matthews, and now Russ. Sidesteps to get the shot up. That won't go.
2 for 1 here if NC State wants to push, but it looks like they're going to play for a good shot.
Augustanete has not scored yet in this third quarter. Samuels on the drive. Another tough shot, and that one goes in. Shot clock is off here for Clemson.
Good job by Clemson to kill the clock right there so that you don't leave any time at all for NC State. You can take the last possession here of the quarter if you choose.
Let's see whose number is he call here. Got shooters running the baseline. They're in both corners. Augustanete comes to get it. Under 10 to go. Picked up her dribble. And she's got to give it up. Rose drives on Brooks. The kick out for 3. Good if it goes. And that one won't fall. 57-52. NC State with the lead over Clemson as we head to the fourth.
It's fantastic, and it led to open opportunities. This is Pierre hitting the 3 in the first half. This is Trygger going to work inside. It's a balanced attack by NC State. Really nice job by Brooks to create opportunities for her teammates.
Well done by NC State. And on the defensive side, led by Caden Samuels, Augustanete and Moore were scoreless in that quarter. And they were quiet in the second quarter, too. So that's helped to kind of change the game a little bit here in NC State's favor. And we have 10 minutes still to go. Moore's back out there for Clemson. She was well rested in that third. Trygger, open look. That won't go.
Look at Pierre.
Pierre, offensive rebound.
Wow.
And a held ball.
What a rebound. You wonder why she leads the league and she's 4th in the nation. There's a good example of it right there. In a crowd, her athleticism goes up with 2 hands.
I thought she was able to clear that out and get it out to a teammate before the held ball.
So did Wes Moore.
Jump it. Actually won't jump it. Possession arrow to NC State.
Well, you'd like to see the jump ball back.
I'm old school. I'd like to see it back.
I wouldn't mind it. You don't make me go down the road and want the one
I'm
and
not
one
going to
back.
make you get in trouble. Don't worry. Samuels, you do that well enough on your own. And a turnover for NC State.
I do want the 1 and 1 back, though.
Oh, the 1 and 1 would be huge.
Hey, there's my guy, Frankie. My son, Frankie, his buddy Blakely, and his other buddy, Chris, hanging out here in the fourth quarter, enjoying the Tigers and the Wolfpack.
He is having a ball here. Clemson Life program,
Graduates
right,
of Clemson Life, right. Yes.
One of the best in the country.
You know, he's got Sean Poppy on speed dial, so Frankie once in a while just hits up Coach Poppy when he wants something. You know, Coach Poppy answers him, too. Having so much fun. Living the dream right here in Clemson, South Carolina.
Another turnover for NC State. He was even giving the DJ advice on how to spin the tunes pregame here at Little John. Things have gotten a little sloppy to start this fourth quarter. See if Clemson can clean it up a bit. Down 5.
Really guarding personnel well here, NC State. Their second half adjustments, as you mentioned, Beth. And I think a lot of it has to do with Q Samuels. Her defense on Augustanete just disrupts the flow of their offense.
You know coming in, right? You play Sean Poppy, you play Clemson, you've got to defend the 3, and they have done a terrific job. 4 of 18 so far for the Tigers. In one of their games earlier this year, they hit 21 of them. They have been prolific under his watch the last year and a half. And they're going to get Brooks for the bump.
She had a little hook going on right there on the screener.
That's the first on Zoe. Again, NC State playing without Zam Jones tonight. Out with an ankle injury. Good ball fake from Raven. Thompson kicks it back out. They got to worry about the shot clock now. They don't see it. Good if it goes. Good scrap for the loose ball. Perryman kept it alive, and Rose drops it for 3.
What a second half for the graduate student, Rachael Rose. 7 points in the first half, Beth. She has been fantastic. Rose with 14 points here in the game.
Brooks, no. Moore comes out with it. Drops it off for Johnson Matthews. Transition 3. So they do it both ways. Off the offensive rebound and now in transition, and Clemson is back in front.
And look at Mia Moore back on the floor, pushing in the middle of the floor, creating opportunities.
Samuels, no. Moore with a rebound.
You got to stop her before she gets this deep. That's too late.
Johnson Matthews moving without the ball. And Pierre's got it, and now she's got a double-double. And she goes down holding her calf. Samuels quick to pull the trigger, and Wes Moore shakes his head. And Pierre is the injured player at the other end of the floor. Now, initially, it appears to be a cramp. And now she's pointing to her hip, so something else going on. They're still working on the calf muscle as well.
Brittany Blunt, the trainer for NC State, she's been busy. They've had the flu go through their team. Trygger missed a game with an eye injury. Zam Jones with a boot on the bench.
Some assistants over to the bench. Immediately grabbed for the calf, even before she was able to outlet the pass. And is she going to stop at the bench, or they're going to walk her back for some treatment behind the NC State bench?
Well, this is a real opportunity for Clemson right here. Now the middle of the floor can open up a little bit. Maddie Cox is on the floor for the Wolfpack, and Clemson has taken the lead here in the fourth.
Rose now running some point.
And you know what? We talked to Sean Poppy about playing 2 point guards with Rose and Moore. Look at that back door. Beautifully executed.
Raven Thompson to Johnson Matthews.
You get Trygger out of the way. Khamil Pierre's not there to defend the rim either. It's a great opportunity for Clemson.
Off the bounce, Lunan misses the layup.
Got to put it on the glass.
Rose running the show. Big day for her. Barely practicing with a stress fracture, and Sean Poppy told us today he's got to lock the gym on her because she wants to come in. Says, we need you for games. They need her for a night like this, and she's delivered. Thompson, open look, got it. And the three-point shot has emerged in the second half now for Clemson.
Just when we finished talking about how NC State had done an excellent job defending the three, they held Clemson 4 for 18 from the three-point line. They aggressive. They pushed in transition. Mia Moore changes the tempo with her ability in the middle. And I thought Demira Hines was fantastic, establishing some play on the baseline in the start of the second half. And then Raven Thompson delivering. Undersized in the paint. Got a matchup that maybe she can win.
Look at that fourth quarter. They were 1 of 7 from downtown in the third, 3 of 4 from downtown in the fourth. And they have matched their largest lead of the game. Immediately, NC State attacks with Trygger in the middle, and they score it. Maddie Cox is still out there. Khamil Pierre sidelined right now with an injury moments ago. She is back on the bench.
Maddie Cox with a nice high-low feed. NC State's got to really guard the ball here and keep the ball in front of them, and then defensive rebound.
Thompson kicks it out, looking for another three. Scramble for the loose ball. This is now, we're into the last 5 minutes. This is when the difference is made for Clemson. Last year, 5 league losses within a couple possessions. Is it going to be a different story this year for the Tigers in close games in the conference?
Well, you got to have the right people taking shots. I mean, Perriman's 0 for 5 and is a 23% three-point shooter. NC State's allowing her to take those shots. So you got to move the ball right there. She's much better in the middle third than she is on the wings. Here they go, putting Perriman in the middle third right here for a ball screen. Yes, that's what she does.
Back at it.
That's what she does well. Put Rose in that action right there with Perriman in the middle of the floor. Nice job by Sean Poppy.
Her best game as a Tiger, and she leads them with 17 points off the bench. 38 bench points to just 3 for NC State.
Nice dig by Moore. See, when you're a big and you catch it on the block and it takes you that long, knowing that you have at 6'6", you have an advantage, you got to anticipate that there's a trap or a dig coming. And the play was too slow developing for NC State. They cannot have empty possessions. And neither team has shot a lot of free throws.
Only 10 total in the game. Brooks blocked by Moore.
See, that's not Zoe Brooks's game. Right there, her game is getting by, getting to the paint, and using her shiftiness.
That appeared to go out of bounds before the shot clock expired, and that's what the officials are over to the scorer's table to see how much time to go back on.
This could matter too, Beth, because if it's more than 0.3, you can throw a tap, a lob to the middle of the floor for Trygger at 6'6".
Good block by Moore. It immediately goes out of bounds.
The clock has been adjusted to 0.7 when the ball hit out of bounds.
So this is important for NC State. Now Westmore can run a lob play to the middle of the floor. Now you can catch and shoot. It doesn't have to be a tap. Still, though, I would make sure that I jam Trygger if I'm Clemson and not let her move freely to the middle in front of the rim. They got 2 players on her right now.
Still double teaming her.
Good D by Clemson.
Leon say the officials. Possession with the lead. Approaching 4 minutes to go.
And NC State's not a pressure team. Like, they're not an up the line looking to press or generate off their defense that way. They're more in the gap, guarding the ball and defensive rebounding.
Johnson-Matthews on the drive, floats one up. No, Trygger's got it. 19 points, 11 rebounds for Tilda. She's matched her career high. She had 19 against Tennessee as well in the season opener. Looking to bust that here.
Look at Hines, knocks her off balance by standing her up, and then look at the sprint by Hines.
Thompson off the cross, into the lane, scoops it up and in.
I thought that might be a matchup Raven Thompson might like without Khamil Pierre on the floor.
Largest lead of the night for either side, and Clemson, a dominating performance here in the fourth, outscoring State 16-2. Back in 30. Stellar here late in this game.
I mean, nice high-low entry right here, and Hines just knocks Trygger off balance, stays vertical, but because she is so strong in that post-up defense, it's tough to deal with, and then because Hines runs the floor so hard, she creates opportunities on the top of the floor for Clemson.
Pierre has to give it up. She's only scored 2 points in this second half. Brooks on the drive, and will head to the line.
That's Zoe Brooks's game right there. And with the game on the line, I would expect her to have the ball in her hands. And Pierre is back on the floor. I think Wes Moore almost had to call that substitution, or that timeout, to get the substitution on the floor. He needed Pierre back on the court.
Obviously still dealing with a sore hip down that right side after a fall a few moments ago. Brooks now 6 of 6 at the free throw line.
Yeah, this is an interesting proposition for NC State, because if you pick up full court here, you got to deal with Mia Moore, and they're looking to trap her right away. See, she is so quick in the open floor and so dangerous.
Hines, and a timeout for Clemson, and immediately Sean Poppy uses his hands.
Did they have possession of the ball to
call
call
out
timeout?
Everybody. I think that's what Wes Moore wants to check. And the officials do not appear to be going over to the scorer's table to look at that.
I don't think you can.
No.
Unless you want to appeal it.
Let's see, when does Poppy call the timeouts?
Okay, it looks like maybe she did have 2 hands on the ball there.
Yep. Clemson continues to roll with the 2 point guards on the floor together. Rose, off the hesitation, swatted by Brooks. Little over penetration there, and here comes NC State.
Look at Hines stop the ball.
Pierre. Lost it. Rose sprints the other way, and she will win the foot race. 19 now for Rachael Rose in a huge second half, and Clemson is up by 10. Trygger mid-range, no. Still just 1 basket in the fourth quarter for State.
The point guards for Clemson have 17 combined rebounds. Rose and Moore.
Huge.
You got to get a stop here. And then you got to quickly push.
5 on the shot clock. Rose. Oh, and they're going to call Thompson for the offensive foul on the screen. Backed into it.
Illegal screen.
Since the midway point of the third quarter, it is a 25-9 advantage for Clemson. NC State's got to make plays and make them fast. Brooks is short. Hines rips it away, and she's fouled. She won the 50-50 ball. Just the second foul for NC State. They've got a couple to give.
Both teams with 2 timeouts. Full court pressure. You got it. It's not bad to try to get a steal. Like, be aggressive, not just try to foul, but try to get the ball. It's a very athletic front of this press right here for NC State.
Hines
she will be the player to foul, and Moore's not a great free throw shooter either.
And now they're able to work clock.
Wes Moore wants a foul. Try to get the ball. Yeah, Pierreman coming in, who is a better free throw shooter than Hines. And
they will shoot on the next one.
Mia Moore is just a 54% free throw shooter. Rachael Rose, much better. That's who you want to foul right there. You want to foul Moore.
Wow, and they lose a lot of time off the clock there. And it's Raven Thompson, an 83% free throw shooter, that will go to the line.
You know, NC State doesn't always have a high motor and a sense of urgency. And it showed here when Clemson took advantage of it.
Thompson in double figures, so's Gustaneda. Johnson, Matthews in double digits. It's the point guards, Rose in particular, 19 points, 8 rebounds today. Moore, 9 points, 10 rebounds. And the Clemson Tigers about to come up with a huge win if they can hang on in the final minute. Timeout, NC State. .49 seconds to go. State to just 5 points in this fourth quarter.
Well, there's no question NC State missed Zam Jones. I mean, that's who you want to foul. Sean Poppy showing a lot of confidence, leaving Moore on the floor as a 54% free throw shooter, knowing that NC State wants to foul, but they have to foul to extend the game.
Mia will step to the line. She's 4 points away from 1,000 for her career.
That does not look like a 54% free throw shooter.
We talked, Debbie, about the perimeter play for Clemson against the size advantage for NC State. The perimeter came alive in this fourth quarter for Clemson, and now a foul here.
Boy, Kaishi Lunan is quick.
That's just the third team foul, so
you know, this is a huge resume building opportunity for Sean Poppy's team. And they made plays late in the second half that NC State just couldn't get going.
Yeah, Hines just fouled out, but she was a big factor.
She was a huge factor, and her stats may not show it, but incredibly important to what Clemson likes to do offensively because she runs every time.
There's a chance for a three-point play for State.
Boy, Kaishi, I'm just going to say, she's got an incredible upside, and she just needs to keep working because she's going to be able to help NC State a lot.
Gets the three-point play.
Got to get a turnover here. Nice ball fake.
Johnson Matthews gets out of it, and they clear midcourt, no trouble, and there's the foul. And that'll get Raven Thompson back to the free throw line.
And this is definitely a disappointing one for NC State. But this is what happens when you get in conference play, Beth. You know, each team knows each other's strengths so well. Understand that when you get into conference play, possession shrink, the floor can shrink. You got to be able to execute when the game's on the line. And to your point before, Sean Poppy, 14 wins last year. He's going to have 12 wins so far already here, early January. And, you know, some of the losses last year were tight. And when this game was close, they made plays.
This would be Clemson's first win over NC State since 2011. 15 years ago. Pierre. around and out. Offensive rebound. Brooks keeps it alive. And Samuels is on the sideline, and there's a chance now, if they don't foul, Clemson will hold NC State to single digits scoring in this fourth quarter.
With a 3-point, takes what the defense gives you, plays with a high IQ, understands her strengths, and plays to them.
Best game as a Tiger. And that'll do it. And look at the reaction from Coach. The emotion on that sideline. Their biggest win of the season, and they knock off NC State for the first time in 15 years. And a 10-point win. And they are partying like it's 2011.